Hello friends, in this video we will see what is combinations. In the previous video we have seen what is permutation. So in this video we will see what is combinations. So combination is sometimes can also be used or selection. Okay, combination sometimes can also be called as selection. So combination is all about selecting R items, selecting R items out of n items, selecting R items out of n items. So combination is all about selection of R items out of n items. For example, we have three items x, y, z. So out of which we have to select two items. Okay, out of which we have to select two items. Okay, so the two items may be xy or yz or zx. Okay, xy or yz or zx. So here the order is not important. Okay, but when it comes to the permutations, the order is very important. So in permutations, xy and yx are different, but in combination, xy and yx are same. Both are same because the order is very important in permutations, but the order is not very important in the combination. I mean the order is not considered here. Okay, so the selecting two items out of xyz is the possibilities are xy, yz and zx. So in the same manner, selecting three items out of xyz, selecting three items out of xyz is only one way is possible, that is xyz. Okay, so combinations is all about selecting r items out of n items at a given time. If there are three items are there x, y, z, and out of which we want to select two items, so the possible selections may be x, y, z, and zx. So in the same manner, if we have three items x, y, z, and we want to select three items at a time, so then the possible selection is x, y, z. Okay, so when it comes to the combination, xy and yx are the same because the order is not important in which they are selecting. Okay, but in permutations, this order is very important and order is considered. Xy and yx are different in the permutation. Okay, this is what. So suppose out of n items and we are selecting r items, and the selection of r items out of n items is represented as NCR So the value of NCR is equivalent to n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So this is the NCR value. Okay, NCR. So that means selecting r items out of n items at a time, the value is going to be equal to the n factorial by n minus r factorial into r factorial. Okay. So for example, we will check these two. So out of three variables in this, n is equal 3, and we are selecting 2 at a time. So that is r value is equal to 2. So that is going to be 3c2. Okay, that is going to be 3c2. So that is 3 factorial by 3 minus 2. So that is 1 factorial into r factorial. So that is 2 factorial. So that is 3 into 2 into 1 by 1 into 2 into 1. So 2 cancel and we will get 3. Okay. So 3 selections are there. So the 3 possible selections are what? X, Y, Y, Z, Z, X. Okay. So we will check for this one. So here in this case the n is 3 and the R value is also 3 because we are selecting 3 items out of these 3 items at a time. So the 3C3 is equal to, so that is 3 factorial by, so 3 minus 3 factorial n minus r factorial into 3 factorial. So 3 factorial cancel. So 1 by 3 minus 3 is 0 factorial. As we know, 0 factorial is equal to 1. So 1 by 1 is equal to 1. So there is only one possibility selecting 3 items out of these 3 items. So that is x, y, z possible. Okay. So this is what about the combinations, and whenever we calculate this combination, there are certain properties are there. So NC1. So whenever we are selecting n items out of n items, so the value is going to be 1. Okay, the value is going to be 1. So whenever we are selecting 0 items out of n items, so the possible selection is 1. NC0 is equal 1. Okay, So whenever we are selecting n items out of n items, so that is possible selections is 1. So whenever we are selecting 0 out of n items, the possible selection is also 1. Okay. So, and one more thing is there, one more property is there, that NCR is going to be equal to always NC n minus R. So NCR is always going to be equal to the NC n minus R. Okay, so NCR is always going to be equal to the NCR. For example, if you see, so that is 3C1 is equivalent to 3C2 also, because 3 minus 1 is 2. So 3C1 is equivalent to 3C2. If you calculate the values, so these two are going to be equal. These three are going to be equal. And moreover, the sum of all these values is going to be NC0 and NC1 plus NC2, so on, so on, so on, plus NCN is equivalent to 2 to the power of n, is equivalent to the value of 2 to the power of n. So is equivalent to the value of the 2 to the power of 1. Okay. So the selecting r items out of n items is going to be equal to the n factorial by n minus r factorial to r factorial. When we are selecting n items out of n, the number of selections are 1. So when you are selecting 0 items out of n items, the number of possible selections are 1. So NCR is equivalent to NC n minus R. So these values are, whenever we calculate these values are going to be equal. For example, 3C1 is equal to 3C2. So if you calculate the values of 3C1 and 3C2, so the value is going to be same. So one more property is the NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 plus so on, NCN is going to be equal to the 2 to the power of n. So I hope you got this one. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel.